Welcome back to Open Up Live. I'm Alicia Batillo.
And I'm Marty Pay. I was busy looking at the chocolate.
I know. We want to thank our lovely viewer, Beverly, for sending these chocolates in. Are these See's chocolates?
I think so. They look like it.
They smell good. Would any of my guests like it?
No, not right now.
Not right now?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
They're now, see, you can
Marty?
tell. No, I appreciate it, but thank you.
Hoagie Bake.
Yeah, I'm watching my weight.
It's calling me. It's calling me. I can hear
But
it.
I am going to have one after the show. All right, let's jump right into our next two guests, Mr. Sergeant Jim Lopez and Julian Wilson. Welcome to Open Up Live. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for honoring us to be here.
How are you guys doing?
Doing well, thank
Okay,
you.
we're going to open up.
Yeah, we're open. That's right.
All right, Tina has told me so much about you, Sergeant, and I want to hear, she's like, he's a legend. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to know all about this legend that she talks so much about. So can you just begin somewhere? Tell us who you are.
Well, my name's Jim Lopez. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, 1937. So that puts me in the big 80 area. But I don't feel 80. It's all a number to me. I just stay very active, and since I retired in 1976, it's been veterans helping veterans, and I've been quite involved. I've owned corporations, I've owned travel agencies, I've done a lot of things that I've make a livelihood and whatnot. So finally, when I decided to retire, I just got myself more involved with veterans organizations. I was district commander here in Kern County for 2 years. I was post commander all state district also. So just keep getting involved, helping homeless veterans, helping anybody I can. I cooked the meals for when they did Wesley Barriento's house.
Yes.
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 I had the grill out there, and I cooked their breakfast for them. It's like ants putting things together. Boy, the guys that come in, and the foundation was there, the sidewalls go up, and pretty soon your rafters are going up, and before you know it, the house is almost done. It's really amazing. But I've always prided myself in helping my fellow veterans.
Now, Jim, you spent 3 tours in Vietnam?
Yeah, 65. In fact, I flew in there until the final. My last mission, or pretty close to the last mission, was going to be the baby airlift.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the, good Lord has saved my life 3 different times, and I don't think we'll have time to discuss them, but whenever we have that showing of the film, I will have time to talk to people about it. But she just mentioned, she says, you haven't been here for our son's birthday for quite some time, because in the service, the phone rings, next thing you know, your bag's packed,
You're
and you're
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I went to the commander and I said, look, I'm a standardization flight examiner. I said, I can fly in any 22nd aircraft that's from Little Rock, Arkansas through the Pacific. So I said, how about if I stay here for my son's birthday, and I'll hop planes until I catch up with the crew, and I'll go ahead and administer the evaluations. He said, that's fine. Well, I never did get to stay for my son's birthday because C5 went down in April the 4th, which is April the 3rd here.
That you would have been on.
That I would have been on. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I would have perished because the 3 guys that I was administering evaluations to all paid the price on that one. So it just, I don't know. I told General Whitehead, I said, General, I don't know why, because I sat with him in the Minterfield Board of Directors. And I told him, I don't understand why the good Lord has saved me, because that's 3 times that I didn't go on a mission, that it just went.
Now, Jim, I have a couple questions to ask you. You and I, you and I had some.
Go ahead.
You and I had some great conversations before the show. So your bio says Marine/Air Force.
Yeah, I was 0311. I was a BA Airman at Pendleton, and then I was on Quad 50s and then 42s at 29 Palms.
So you started out as a Marine. So you started. Well, I don't want to offend anybody, but you started with the best, and then you ended up in the Air Force.
I started out with the Marine Corps, went to the Air Force, and I still with the best. I'm still a veteran.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Very good. And you ended up as a DI in the Air Force.
No, I was a flight examiner. Actually, I was in Iceland. I can tell you stories about it. But when I came back, I was supposed to have gone and I was doing aerial photo out of West Palm Beach, Florida, flying RB-50s. We're doing aerial survey, aerial photography. And when I came back from Iceland, I was flying on L2s over there, taking mosaics and stuff out of streams and stuff. And it's still part of the aerial photo. In fact, I had to go on a top secret, at that time it was top secret mission. We flew on a chopper. And we're hovering over a submarine, and they were taking this one guy out of the submarine, and I was photographing the whole thing, and I thought, Russian submarine maybe? I didn't realize until years later that I seen those same pictures in Life magazine when the Nautilus went under the North Pole, first nuclear submarine. It was Captain Williamson, I think was the commander of that ship. They were taking him out to take him to D.C. to award him. When you're doing top secret, you're working on stuff that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You can't say anything about it. So until somebody declassifies it or you see it somewhere. So the pictures were in Life magazine, and it's funny because it doesn't give you credit. Just the United States Air Force photo or United States Marine Corps photo and whatnot. So,
Julian, how are you?
I am fine.
You're
Thank
awake?
you so much. Yeah, we're sitting here, and of course I've heard the story before. But it's so infectious, I say, when he starts to talk and any veteran starts to talk about that story that they each have when it comes to what they did, with their sacrifice for this country. And so I was enthralled again, so I'm fine.
Jim mentioned the word film, so that's where you come in, right? So
Yes.
there's a film on Jim's life.
Yes,
Story?
there's a film on Jen's life. And, we probably should talk a little bit about how we met before we get into the film.
Okay.
I guess we had a few minutes. So,
Yeah.
Jim, you want to do the honors? You tell it a lot better
well,
than I do.
my wife and I were in front of a grocery store handing out Veterans of Foreign Wars poppies. We do that as a fundraiser to help.
Here in
and
Bakersfield?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was district commander, every one of our posts do that during Memorial Day. They do it twice a year. And what they do is they buy the poppies that were created by disabled veterans in hospitals, and then we go ahead and hand them out. We don't sell anything. We hand them out and accept donations. And we're doing that in front of the store, and Julian walked up, and he said, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. He said, did you serve in Vietnam? And I said, yeah. He said, can I have your phone number? He said, I want to call you. And I thought maybe he wanted to know something about the VFW, so I gave him my phone number one out. And he was going to call me on Tuesday, so Tuesday come by, the following Tuesday come by, and then later on I get a call from him. He said, I'm sorry. He said, I was busy. I said, no problem. I said, how can I help you? He said, well, I produce. He said, I did a World War II documentary. I did a Korean War documentary, and he said, I want to do one on Vietnam on you. And I thought, great. God works in mysterious ways, So he came over to the house, and we sat down. I had dinner for him, actually. And I sat down, and we ate, and we talked for quite a few hours and whatnot. And so he's, doing the old trick, like they go around, okay, here's what we're going to film type. So he came over and set up cameras and everything else, and we just talked for hours on that. And I was surprised because I've seen many documentaries. This guy has got a unique method that he does that is entirely... I was enthralled. I mean, I got to see the rough copy of it this past Monday. And my wife was in there. She got very emotional. And I told him, I said, you know what, I'm going to tell you, I got emotional also. And I mean, I've seen myself because I've ran for Congress. I've been at the state level with the Veterans of Foreign Wars, on the Administration Council and stuff. I've done a lot of the radio shows and TV interviews here and whatnot, because I've been involved in a lot of organizations. But it never did affect me like this did. I mean, here I'm watching myself talk about Vietnam, and it's like he says, it's your story.
Well, Julian, what technique did you use that was so unusual, and why did you decide to approach him? I mean, what was it about him that went off in your brain that said, I want to learn more about him?
Well, I'm like that with all the veterans, whenever I see a veteran, because I know each one of them has a very unique story. You can actually have two veterans who served in the same space during a war, and they will give you two different accounts of that same space, Both of them will be accurate, but it'll be according to how they saw it. And that has always been unique and intriguing to me, seeing that I never served in war and knowing how very devastating war is. No one really wants to do that, have to go to war. But it's a reality of life, this day and age.
Well, that's one of the misconceptions, Marty. Is a lot of people think that we as military love to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody hates war more than the guys that are having to participate in it.
I think Robert E. Lee said that, if I remember right.
Well, I don't know who said it. But
That's
that's
true.
I mean, that
Yeah.
I can say that myself because
Sure.
I don't know if it wasn't. I don't go back and look at history and try and repeat what they said, but it's just how you feel.
Sure.
Hey, you try and avoid what is going to be harmful. I mean, you don't go out there and go on the highway when you got a bunch of drunks driving around, just as a challenge, But a lot of people think, you guys like war, you're warmongers. Hey, believe me, nobody, and if anybody's seen some of the atrocities of war, they would really have second thoughts about it.
Now, on the 7th, you have an event. Tell us about that. That's your,
Well,
You're asking me.
it was,
either one of you.
Either one of you
Okay.
guys.
I had nothing to do with a lot of this stuff. Like I said, I have to give the credit to Julian, and he sent me these flyers, and he labeled it for Family for Country, the Jim Lopez story in USMC USAF. November 7th at 6:30 p.m. at the Round Table Pizza at 4200 Gosford Road. What really got me is when he put in the bottom, 10% of all proceeds from this event will be donated to the local VFW Post 97. That got my attention right
Sure,
away.
you
It's
bet.
all for veterans.
Yep.
And-
And that's where your heart is.
That's right.
And real quick, while we have time, I'll kind of lay out, what I do, because I only think I answered half of your question. I apologize about that.
That's okay.
We could probably talk about this forever. But the big reason why I do this, again, is because, like I said, all veterans have a very unique story. They don't always have the opportunity to tell it. People don't always have the opportunity to hear that story. And the majority of these stories are very life-changing stories. I wanted to do something to contribute, to try to help to see what I wasn't seeing in the revelation of these stories, and that's why I started doing these. When I do the film screenings, they're all free because, again, it's about sharing the information, and that's what I make sure I let every veteran know that I do a film on. This is not being done for profit. This is not being done for profit off of you and your stories. Is being done to share, and most veterans only agree to share their story under those circumstances. They don't. It's tough enough to share the story. It's tough enough to relive what they went through. So I really commend Sergeant Lopez for sharing, and I'm very thankful, very appreciative of his service and his sacrifice, and I know that we all are.
Marty, if I might interject, one of the things that, I've never had anybody do a documentary. I mean, I've been on TV, I've been a lot of stuff, but nobody ever came in and specifically did one on me. So I was a little apprehensive about how this thing was going to come out, whether you want the public to really see us or not. Well, I seen the rough cut, and he said, wait till you see the finished one. And I said, wow, you can improve on this? And he said, yeah. I want to get this out to as many schools as I can because patriotism is not being taught in school anymore. I mean, we have people
Amen.
so dissatisfied with this country. They desecrate our flag. They protest our liberties. They protest our freedoms. They protest, our flag, our national anthem. The last 3 years that I flew embassy flights, and I've gone in a lot of countries. And the worst poverty that we have in this country would live like kings in those countries, but they don't realize it. They don't realize how blessed we are in this country, how fortunate we are to live in the United States of America. And, everybody thinks that they got to give me something. You know what? The good Lord has given me a place I can live, I can practice my religion, I can go ahead and defend the Constitution and defend the freedoms and liberties that He so gracefully gave us. And I want that message getting out to the kids in school because my granddaughter years ago told me, Tata, she said, we went to school and the teacher said, this is the time we're supposed to say the Pledge of Allegiance, but I'm not going to say it and you don't have to either. I said, Mija, you know what? You're young. Had it been me, I'd have stood up and as loud as I could, I'd have put my hand on my heart and said, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. That is lacking so much now, and you see it, what's happening with the NFL. I don't even, I'm a diehard Raiders fan. It kills me. I am not seeing another damn football game until these, I can't say it on the air.
Jim, I'm a diehard Raider fan since the mid-'60s, so you and I are in the same boat.
Well,
Yes.
and so you understand how I
Yes.
feel.
Yes.
But you know what? To desecrate our flag and respect our national anthem and our country is just goes beyond the pale. I mean, I don't take that damn uniform off and then do it in public in your own time, not while you're in uniform.
Exactly.
And by the way, this is a uniform. What they've got on is a costume.
I totally agree. Jim, how do you really feel about it?
That's the reason why when I used to go on TV, they'd say, boy, are you passionate about that? You better believe it, because that's, I mean, man, I stand out there now. I used to go and attend a lot of the military funerals when they play taps and blow, fire their weapons and blow, tears just rolled out. I'm 100% disabled with PTSD. I joined the Veterans Honor Guard because as a therapy. I used to go out there because I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for them, and it really helped me. It only hurts whenever you got somebody that you personally know that you're putting away, like my chaplain when I was district commander. He was in Iwo at Tarawa and Okinawa. And this guy, I spent the last 3 nights with him when he was passing. I told him, I said, can I come and pray with you tomorrow? And he said, yes. Well, he passed away that night. But to put him away and say the words at his funeral, I had a ball about the size of a baseball in my
You
throat.
bet. Jim, it was a pleasure and an honor meeting both of you, Julian. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. And Jim, thank you so much for your service and what you've done. And thank you, Alicia. I've enjoyed this. And Tina, this has been fun. I've really enjoyed this. And
Well,
it was
Marty,
an honor
thank you
meeting
for your service also. And
you.
thank Tina and the rest of the staff here for being patriots. We appreciate that.
All right, and I just wanted to remind you guys about this kickoff to Christmas, this vendor and craft fair. We had the organizers on last week's show, and this is November 4th, this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come on out and support local businesses. Kern County needs you, and we want you guys to show up. So kickoff to Christmas. I'm going to try to stop by.
Wow, Christmas already.
I've been playing Christmas music all morning.
I play Santa Claus at a nursing home here in town.
awesome.
I've done it for the last 12 years, and I love it. Ho, ho,
Awesome.
ho.
Awesomeness. Am I missing any? Okay. And then November 7th, I just wanted to remind you guys again, for Family for Country, the Jim Lopez story. Don't miss it. Is it cost to get in or no? No? Okay. And it's at Round Pizza Table.
Round Table Pizza.
Okay, well, Round Table Pizza. 4200 Gosford Road, Bakersfield, California. You can call 978-7153. Thank you so much. Marty, you were awesome.
Thank you.
I need you back.
Love to come back.
Of course, you too, Tina. Tina's in the building still.
You know, if any school administrators or activity directors would like to have this video to show it to the classes, I would appreciate it if they could just give us a call.
Definitely.
You know.
Their information will be on our Facebook page on Open Up Live. Visit us and like our page. We'll see you back here next week. Have a good weekend.